truth now. Yeah. I'm here to speak and make it clear. I'm sorry, y'all, for all I've done, but I'm not the only one. In a dark place, I told some lies, but I'm not the only one. We all got secrets under the sun. In the shadows, we played the game. Now I'm standing here taking the blame. A lot of y'all was at the freak off too, so don't put it all on me. That's just the truth. I've been up and down this road trying to find my peace. Confessions of a man without a release. Oh, now, hey. In the mirror, I saw the truth hiding in plain view. I'm coming clean now, this burden to undo. We were all there dancing shadows in the night, acting wrong when we knew what was right. But deep inside, there's more you must see. In this room of mirrors, it's not just me. I walk this path with heavy chains, trying to shed those sins, erase the stains. I've seen the highs and the pushing low, fading in the spotlight. That's how it goes. Now I'm standing here, hard on my sleeve, trying to clear the air, let the demons relieve. Every wrong turn and every mistake led me to this moment, let my soul quake. Plays a part in the shadows deep, lost in the game.
I'm not going to call P. Diddy a bitch. 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 P. Diddy a bitch.
Sean Combs is a bitch. Yeah. Sean Combs is a bitch. They bitches too. Sean Combs is a bitch. Yeah. Sean Combs is a bitch. Yeah.
You don't hit women when you're a man. You don't hit women when you're a man. P. Diddy a bitch. 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 P. Diddy a bitch.
Sean Combs is a bitch. Yeah.
I'm not going to call P. Diddy a bitch or any other name like that. But I ain't gonna stop anybody else from doing it. I'm not gonna malign them. P. Diddy a bitch. 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 P. Diddy.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Saturday Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so with that all being said, let's get ready to get into it. Hello, Khalid. All right, Deronda is here. Desmond is in the house. Nessie X, Miss Peaches, RG Titan. All right, let's get into it. Everyone hit that like button. Okay, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, Twitter at DGoddess27, and as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Okay, so let's get into it now. Hey, Cookie. Okay, Queen Shay is in the house. Lindell is here. All right, we next, aka DSB. Okay, so Nene is here. So before we get started, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. All right, shout out to Cosmic Thoughts D, the classic one. All right, okay, so here we go. Likes up, everybody. And listen, don't forget to double check and make sure you're still subscribed, especially if you haven't been receiving those notifications.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes for your hair at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. All right, so let's get into it, honey, because Diddy has done it again. Okay, Diddy has done it again, honey. Have y'all heard about Diddy? They say that Terrence Howard said Diddy wanted to get his bussy. So we're going to talk about it. I'm going to play actually about a 6-minute clip of the interview that Terrence did on PBD. Okay. Well, thanks. We next, aka DSB, says, keep up the amazing work, my warrior sister. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate your kind words and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. All right, let's get into it. Hey, Nessie X, Darnell is here. All right, the Inkwell is in the house. Okay, so let's go ahead and listen to this. I was trying to wait until I get at least 100 people in here so nobody really misses out. Okay, and shout out to the replay gang. All right, listen, hey Gwendolyn, listen, did you all once in the chat, if you saw the video upload that I posted yesterday about the man who was so racist, he didn't want a black doctor performing his kidney transplant surgery on him, and then ended up not even getting the transplant because it came from a black person. Did you all see that? Once in the chat, if you all saw that, absolutely so crazy. Hey, Michael. I mean, here's my thing. I mean, talk about cutting off your nose to spite your face. You see where hate gets you? Okay. How crazy is that? They had the nerve to sue. The judge threw it right out of court. Okay, please pay attention. Honey, you play stupid games and get stupid prizes because that's how that all went down. All right. Miss Peaches said, I heard it already, but I will listen to a little bit of it again. Honey, it's only 5 minutes. It didn't take much to talk about it because, honey, that was just real crazy. Okay. Khalid said, yes, he was crazy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so with that all being said, and speaking of nefarious doctors, remember I told you all about my best friend who was in the hospital with this doctor who obviously, in my opinion and hers, didn't like people who looked like us. Okay. And I told you all I would get his name. Well, his name has been gotten. Okay. His name has been gotten, and I'm about to pull him up on the screen. Okay, I'm about to pull him up on the screen before we get started. Honey, he looks a whole hot mess. I mean, if I had a face like his, because clearly, and I'm not even joking, but this is a face that only a mother could love. I'm not even joking, seriously. And if I had a face like this, I'd be mad too. Okay? I would be mad too. Hold on, let me see if I can get a bigger image. Okay, here he is. Let's pull this up, and I'm going to share my screen real quick. Okay, that's him right there, you guys. That's him, Ramesh Guram Reddy. All right, that's him at Piedmont. This is the Piedmont location in Henry County. Okay, so you all go and read his Google reviews. Okay, go and read those Google reviews, okay? And give him a bad one, all right? If you could be so kind, I'd really appreciate it. Give him a bad one, okay? So anyway, that's the one right there who was so low down and dirt. I mean, he basically was trying to discharge her so she could just go home and die, as far as we're concerned. Okay, so anyway, that all being said, let's get into it. So as I said, you all, Terrence Howard. Now we remember that Columbus Short came out and said that Diddy invited him to a hotel, honey, in the dark of the night around 2 or 3 in the morning. And then when he asked, talking about come party, we said who all's there. He said it's just me. It's just me here. So apparently he gave Terrence Howard the same invitation. So let's get into it, honey. Okay, Nene said looking like a Keebler elf. I know, right? Did you see those ears? Okay, did you see those ears? Now, y'all make sure y'all give him the worst review, okay? So with that all being said, let's get into it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen so we can hear what Mr. Howard had said about the diddler. And I'm going to put an overlay on here because I do not have permission to use this clip. Okay, give me just a second to get this overlay. All right, there we go. Let's get into it, honey.
You know, there's a short life in
why do you think that is with the creative side?
Well, because losing out money, you got to take drugs. You're going through so much shit to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far. You know, who knows what happened to Philip? Who knows what he had to do in order to get to where he was at? There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. You know, but when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it. A man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
Man, I mean, you know, one of the things you're seeing, you went to a whole different place.
Sorry.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process, I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music, and he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman. You know, when you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back. It's a difference when a guy walks in a room and when a man walks into a room. And a man don't take the same things that a guy will accept. So always be the man in the room. And that's always been my whole thing, and have lost businesses because I don't bend over in that way. I don't compromise. I don't play gay roles. I don't kiss a man. I don't do that shit because the man card means everything.
I had no idea we're going to go this direction with the podcast. This is absolute. But listen, we've talked about it. We've had a lot of the guys on to talk about this stuff. Are you done with Hollywood because of this specific reason?
I'm still working. I still, I haven't made the money necessary to do all of the other stuff. So I still have to go and do the chitlin circuit. I still have to do the job that I need to. But eventually, I've done what I set out to do, which was to redefine the universe. I've proven what I've set out to do, and that's why I have all the patents. Whether they evaluate it or not, that's up to them. But I've done the work and finished it. Now I can go on and do whatever else we need to do. Hi, everyone. My name is Terrance Howard. I'm an actor, but in the field of science also. So if you would like to connect with me, you can connect with me on Connect. The QR code is down below, and let's have a great conversation.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire
All right, so you all heard that. Okay, you all heard that. So he was talking about everybody that goes to those Diddy parties. They already knew what time it was, basically, and thought it was going to be all gravy. Okay, and then he said that he still has to do the chitlin circuit. Okay, so what does that tell you? That tells you that he's not really a favorite in Hollywood, or should I say Hollyweird? Okay, please pay attention. Please pay attention. So thank you, Desmond, for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. And also, we next, aka DSB, says no foundation and no butt lining, honey. I know that's right. Thank you for your insight to the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so that was very interesting. I mean, who hasn't Diddy tried? Okay, I'm sure there's more stories, but some people are just going to keep those to themselves for all eternity, in my opinion. Okay, Locked Vegan said Terrence did not stutter one bit. I surely believe it. And here's the thing. What I think is that Diddy is just a gay man. Okay, Diddy is just a gay man. Now, we can say he's bi, but I think that the only reason we can say that he's bi is because he's used relationships with women to cover up the fact that he's secretly gay. That's my opinion. Okay, and the lifestyle that Diddy has lived, he's had to hide the truth about himself, or didn't have to, but he just chose to, maybe thinking it would be frowned upon. I don't know. But whatever the reason, here's the thing. Some of these men who are on the DL, who are afraid to live in their truth, that is often expressed through deviant sexual behavior. Okay? That's how it often comes out. It manifests in a myriad of other ways. That would include being hateful towards women and being abusive towards them, beating them because he resents the fact. I'm not going to say Diddy, but some of them resent the fact that they have to be in relationships with women to cover up who they really want to be in relationships with. These men, just do the research. Lots of DL men are physically violent and verbally abusive and mentally abusive towards women, because they really don't care for women like that. Women are just objects for them, okay? Not objects of their affection either. So maybe that's why Diddy has allegedly been so violent, abusive, and, just nefarious, because of not being able to live in his complete truth. Now, that's just my opinion. The classic one said, still in the closet. Well, I wouldn't say he's still in the closet, beloved. Not Diddy. Not wearing that lace, that black lace that time, and that wig he had on. Y'all remember that? Gwendolyn says, I agree with you, Queen. That explains the violence. Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's just the fact that most of these men who are on the down low resent women and are very nasty to them. D said Terrence was straight to the point. Yes, he was. Okay, so no shock there. I don't think anyone's surprised. I don't think anyone is surprised. Okay, so now let's talk about Keke Palmer. Why are y'all mad at Keke Palmer, black folk? Black folk, why are y'all mad at little Keke? She is so sweet. Why are y'all upset with her and bringing up old stuff that she said when she was in her 20s, trying to bring her down, talking about canceling her because she invited Jonathan Majors on her podcast? Why are black people even still mad at Jonathan Majors? I mean, I have questions, okay? I know, y'all think it's a coincidence that after him and Megan got married, or they're trying to celebrate and enjoy their lives, and then that girl, Grace Jabari, that he dated previously, puts out that video, that audio tape or whatever, where she's talking about, you strangled me. And then he says something, he agreed to it, or basically. So, here's how I look at that. I don't condone violence upon anyone unless it's in defense of yourself or someone else, but here's the thing. There's a myriad of men who don't look like Jonathan Majors, okay, who have absolutely been violent towards women, and their careers have not suffered. And black people specifically didn't get mad at them. So why the hell are y'all mad, some of you? Why are y'all mad at Jonathan Majors again? Okay. Why are y'all mad at Keke Palmer? I have questions. Okay, because it's been rumored that Nicolas Cage had a incident before. We know Sean Penn did with Madonna, and it was alleged at some point decades ago that Sean Penn actually had tied her up to a chair or something and was just doing all kind of crazy stuff. Okay, what about Dana White? All right. What about Charlie Sheen? And Charlie Sheen, let's talk about him. This man has HIV and has been accused by women of having relations with them without even disclosing his status. Okay? Is he a leper in the industry? Has he been blackballed? I don't think so. Someone says Baldwin. See, I didn't even know about him. And I just have questions, okay? I just have questions. So, and also, depending on how you interpret that audio, I don't know what that man actually admitted to. That's all I'm saying. But I'm sick and tired of people hating on black folk for the same thing other people do, and they don't say anything about them. They don't seem to have a problem with it. And I specifically get annoyed with black people doing it because I expect other people who don't look like us to do it. Mad Dog Jack says, because Queen, people can mind their own business. Certain black people can't move on and leave people business alone. Exactly. Okay. Frenchie says selected rage. That's right, beloved. That's exactly what it is. And I'm so sick of it. Black people really have selective outrage. Black people I'm talking to, you. Okay. Now, I'm not condoning domestic violence. I'm not condoning anything like that or whatever, putting hands on people, whether you're a woman or a man. And here's the thing. I saw a video the other day that made me so damn mad, but I can't show it on here due to the extreme violence. But Frank Nitty said, I'll send you a video, Queen, of like over 10 white men who committed SA and rape. Honey, I already know, but I'm just saying these celebrities out here who don't look like us, when they do it, it's a whole different story. You understand what I'm saying? And now it's like, oh, they don't want to, and let's not talk about, what's the guy's name? Robert Downey Jr. With all of the substance abuse issues he did and all the nefariousness he got himself into, he even went into the wrong house one time and got in this woman's bed, in a bed in her house. Because he was so high off of whatever illegal substances he had been doing that he didn't even realize he was in the wrong house. Okay. But then he becomes a Marvel character. But Jonathan Majors is a problem. Yeah, I find it all interesting. Okay. I mean, it's clear to me that Grace Jabari was the aggressor. Okay. We cannot deny what we all saw on the film. The man was running from her. And when she says he strangled her, did he strangle her on purpose? Did he literally grab her by the throat and squeeze, trying to snatch the life out of her, trying to prevent her from breathing? Is that what happened? Or did she run and try to swing on him or something and he grabbed her by the throat to push her back? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. So that's all I'm saying. Frenchie says they still talk about Chris Brown. Exactly. Like, black men are so demonized and vilified when they make a mistake or they do something wrong, but other people aren't. Okay, that's what I'm pointing out. Okay, don't get mad at me because the truth is the truth. I don't care. I really don't care who's mad. So listen to this. This is what they say, reported by The Root. Black people or Black folks don't believe Jonathan Majors put in the work to be forgiven. So Keke Palmer and Black media needs to recognize, first of all, who are we to forgive anybody? Isn't that God's job? Nobody has to ask humans, okay? When they do things in their life that may be wrong or whatever, they don't have to come and ask all the rest of the humans walking around that don't even have a connection to them, don't even know them in real life. They don't have to ask us to forgive them. Okay, the person who they should ask the forgiveness of is the person who they wronged, the people around them that they care about, or whomever. But we don't even know these people. Okay, so stop being so judgmental, because I'm sure plenty of us have things in our closets that we don't want divulged. All right. So anyway, let's talk about it, because the immediate Hollywood redemption tour of the once promising actor is questionable, yet not surprising. So actor and self-admitted and criminally charged abuser Jonathan Majors wants to make a Hollywood comeback. But before we unpack that, well, here's what they say. You know, people have been leaving all these nasty comments. They've been saying that Keke herself is a victim of domestic violence, and therefore she should have had better sense than to be inviting him on the show. That's basically what the people are saying, some of the people. So yes, the new woman in his life is actress Meagan Good, whom he quickly dated and later married during his public downfall. She's Black, like Coretta Scott King, to whom he once infamously compared her. Here's the thing. He did start dating Meagan quickly after the incident with Grace Jabari, and that's because he was already seeing Meagan behind Grace Jabari's back. Okay? Meagan is the one who sent him the text talking about kissing him that led to Jabari getting upset and attacking him. Okay? Now, with that being said, allegedly, let me just say allegedly. Okay, so yes, there are white men in Hollywood who have faced similar controversies and gotten a chance to make a comeback. Okay, they named Sean Penn, Mel Gibson, Steven Seagal, Charlie Sheen, Nicolas Cage, and more. But even several of them had to sit down sometimes. Robert Downey Jr. had to spend the better part of a decade cleaning up from a pattern of substance abuse before he pretty much built the Marvel Cinematic Universe brick by brick, and they started backing brink trucks full of money to his house. Well, that's the thing. He started making all that money again. And the reason he had to spend the better part of a decade cleaning himself up, it was not due to the fans. It was not due to Hollywood producers. It was because he was, on substances. Okay? He needed rehab. He needed to get off of the illegal substances so that he could get hired. It wasn't because they were judgmental of him like they are with people who look like me. So anyway, this is what Jonathan Majors said. He said, God's got a plan for me. This is what he said in an interview that he did on The Breakfast Club. Similar sentiments were shared during his teary-eyed interview on the Sherri Shepherd show. Here's the question. Why are they going in on Keke for interviewing him or asking him to come on her show, but not The Breakfast Club or Sherri Shepherd? It's like they just want to have a reason to be mad at Keke. Okay, there's already backlash following the announcement that he's going to be a special guest on Keke Palmer's Baby This Is Keke Palmer podcast next week. So it's obvious that the former Marvel star is continuing to push his apology without actually saying sorry to her. Now, it should be noted that because we live in a world where celebrities aren't simply on a redemption tour for free, Majors is also pushing his formerly canned film, Magazine Dreams, that's tanking in the box office as we speak. Excuse the lack of sympathy, but from all of the tears and spiritual metaphors given by the actor, it's hard to tell whether he's actually trying to do better or if he's going to continue to perform as a victim of a problem he brought on himself. So because if there's truly a redemption arc to this fallen star, where is the actual work? Seriously, crying during media press tours and using the already beloved God as a talking point ain't cutting it when you literally admitted to strangling a woman. Now, as we saw with former NFL athletes Michael Vick and Ray Rice, who faced controversy for being abusive to dogs and women, respectively, a part of making their way back into the public spotlight came with doing some form of tangible work, whether it's donating, speaking out about domestic violence causes, or explaining how you plan to seek professional guidance beyond family, friends, and God to be better. More actual doing rather than telling is required here. So as fans or onlookers of the actor, we should expect the same as well. It is not enough to keep justifying this lackluster comeback tour as simply a racial double standard between white people who get away with it compared to us. Remember, Black humanity and decency shouldn't be determined by the performance of another race. That's not the point. And this is the Root saying this. I want you all to pay attention. Okay, this is a Black publication, but I want you all to pay attention because the double standard should absolutely be addressed, in my opinion. Now they're going to say, all comparisons aside, Jonathan Majors cannot continue to lean on prominent Black women in media to help salvage his image. He actually needs to work on it with actual actions and not just words. Otherwise, this whole redemption attempt can flop, just like the movie he's trying to self-promote right now. I didn't even know he had a movie called Magazine Dreams. Has anyone seen it? I have not heard anything about it. I've not heard anything about it. So, but why all of the angst for Keke? And like I said, they brought up the fact that she was on a show being interviewed some years ago, and they brought up how she talked about Trey Songz as he actually intimidating her. Remember when she said she had to hide in the closet because she felt so uncomfortable, and then he took that video of her without her consent? They brought that back up to the forefront. They brought up the time that she supposedly defended R. Kelly, and then she came back later and apologized, saying that she didn't really, have all of the facts at the time. Okay, Fat Boo said you haven't seen it. Somebody said, okay, RJ said excellent movie. Okay. All right, so it's an excellent movie. I hadn't even heard about it. Okay, maybe I'll check it out. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, stop giving this man such a hard time and let him live his life. Okay, he who is without sin cast the first stone. Okay, because here's the thing. If they're going to be talking about Jonathan Majors, shouldn't they be talking about Grace Jabari too? I mean, she was the aggressor. Okay, she was absolutely the aggressor. We all saw it. How come nobody's going in on her? Nobody should put their hands on another person, like I said, unless it's in defense of yourself or someone else. All right? RJ said it was an Oscar-worthy performance. Okay, well, they're not going to give that man an Oscar. That's what they're not going to do. And here's the thing. Here's how some people are so fake. Nobody cared. Some of y'all didn't care when Will Smith slapped the taste out of Chris Rock's mouth. Now, I know those are two men, but y'all know that Will was dead wrong. He had no business putting hands on that man, and especially in a room full of people, okay, with millions of viewers watching. He should have been arrested. And that's just a fact. He should have been arrested. But see, y'all made excuses for Will. Oh, he was trying to prove his manhood. Oh, it was because of Jada. I don't care what it was about. At the end of the day, his anger was really towards Jada. And he took it out on Chris, in my opinion. Because Jada's the one always embarrassing and humiliating him and making him look like a fool. Okay? But anyway, honey, what do I know? Let me be quiet before y'all try to twist it around and say, oh, Queen Ahmadiyyah is condoning DV when I'm doing no such thing. But we know some of y'all are slow, okay? And y'all just don't get certain points. All right, so anyway, that all being said, honey, let's talk about Andrew Tate under federal investigation. They can't keep him out of trouble, or he can't seem to stay out of trouble. Joseph McBride, okay, now here's the story, and this is reported by TMZ. Joseph McBride, lawyer for the Tate brothers, is blasting the investigation, telling TMZ that it's pathetic, okay, these delay tactics by a group of weak attorneys running from a fight in the Florida defamation case because they know the evidence is overwhelmingly on our side. He says that the Southern District of New York is subject to Washington. Washington is not involved, and we are not worried. Nothing changes. Our march to victory continues. Now, the Tate brothers' legal issues in the United States are piling up. Federal prosecutors are now investigating them, according to an attorney involved in a civil suit with them. So here's what they say. Andrew and his brother Tristan filed a $5 million defamation lawsuit against an unidentified woman and 3 other people last year in Palm Beach County, Florida, claiming the defendants' allegations prompted the Romanian officials to criminally charge the Tate brothers. Well, an attorney representing one of the defendants filed legal docs requesting certain information in that defamation case be kept confidential due to an ongoing U.S. Attorney's Office investigation. Now, in the docs obtained by TMZ, Danielle Pinter says the document should not be released publicly until the United States federal investigation and or prosecution by the Department of Justice for the Southern District of New York of Andrew and Tristan Tate has concluded. We've reached out to the Southern District of New York for any information on the alleged probe. And so have the Tate brothers rep. Now, as we reported, Andrew is dealing with 2 other investigations in the United States, one in Florida and another in Beverly Hills. Tristan is also being looked at in Florida in a probe in which Governor DeSantis announced the brothers were not welcomed in the state. Now, you know, TMZ broke that story. Okay, they say Andrew's ex-girlfriend, Bree Stern, filed a police report accusing him of assaulting her last month in the Beverly Hills hotel. She has also filed a lawsuit against him. Now, the Tate brothers are also facing human trafficking charges in Romania and recently returned to the country for a court date in that case. They have not been yet convicted or found liable. So in any of the legal matters that they're facing, they've not been found liable in any of them. Now, Andrew and Tristan are well known for their podcast, Tate Speech, in which they proudly preach misogynistic rhetoric. Okay. I don't know. I don't really know what I think about this. I don't really know what I think about this because I find it interesting. I find it interesting, for one, that they're saying that the ex-girlfriend claims that he recently assaulted her. I just kind of find that hard to believe. Okay, I'm not going to say I find it hard to believe, but I'm just going to say that seems kind of crazy to me, because with all the trouble that they've already been in, that if he did something like that, that would just be ridiculous to me. Gwendolyn says, Queen, does anyone in the chat know which of the Tate brothers' parents is Black and who the hell raised them? Well, I thought both. I don't know. I think I know Andrew is supposed to be. I thought both of them may have been half Black. Okay. But someone told me specifically that Andrew is half Black. Did you all know that? I could have sworn I told you all that like a couple of weeks ago. I could have sworn I told you all that. He's biracial, okay? He has an African-American father by the name of Emory Tate, okay? And who was, matter of fact, he was an international chess master, okay? He was an international chess master. And then his mother is a white English woman named Eileen Tate, and his younger brother Tristan and a younger sister Janine. Okay, I think all of them are biracial. I mean, I guess they all have the man's last name. I don't know. But Andrew Tate, that's interesting because I never knew that until maybe a few weeks ago. But anyway, I think they're all probably have the same father because they all have that same last name. Okay, I mean that would make sense to me. So, and then Jean-Claude Van Damme. Jean-Claude Van Damme, honey, they said that he's been accused of having relations with women who were trafficked in Romania. Jean-Claude Van Damme, please say it ain't so. How many of you have ever been Jean-Claude Van Damme fans? Once in the chat. Anybody saw Lionheart back in the day? Once in the chat if you have ever been a Jean-Claude Van Damme fan. Some of y'all newbies, y'all youngins, y'all probably don't even know who that is. Okay, a lot of ones. Okay. Okay. Y'all remember those splits, ladies? Y'all remember him doing the splits on top of that counter? That was a badass scene. Now, mind you, they didn't say, if memory serves me correct, they didn't say that he was doing any trafficking. They said that he had relations with the women that were trafficked. But here's the thing. Did he know if they were being trafficked or not? That's the question I have. Okay, so Jean-Claude Van Damme, facing trafficking charges in Romania, allegedly accepted sex with 5 women as a gift. So, according to a CNN affiliate, Antenna 3, the Romanian dictatorate for investigating. They said they're investigating organized crime, or this is the Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism, known as the DIICOT or DICOT, has filed a criminal complaint against Van Damme, claiming that he knowingly had relations with several women who were being trafficked. Okay, so they say that he absolutely knew. Now, per the report, the actor allegedly met with several people also under investigation for trafficking crimes who offered to let him have relations with 5 Romanian models as a gift. This must be a big thing over there in Romania, okay? Because that's where the Tate brothers are accused of it too. Now, this alleged incident is said to have gone down in Cannes. So the French government reportedly has authorized or has to authorize criminal proceedings. Unclear if or when that might happen. So Van Damme isn't the only public figure who has been accused of crimes related to trafficking in Romania. Remember, Andrew and Tristan Tate were only recently allowed to leave the country after they were arrested on trafficking charges back in 2022. They say we last caught up with Jean-Claude back in 2016 when he gave a spirited take on Donald Trump's infamous Access Hollywood tape. So they reached out to him, but so far, no word back. It's a whole lot of trafficking going on, apparently, and a whole lot of people get accused of it. Okay, I mean, this is really big business. Okay, it's $1 billion industry, and don't forget that I told you all a few years ago, and I'm sure the numbers have increased since then. But annually, I want to say over 200,000 plus. Okay, this is from like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I haven't looked at the statistics as of late, but about 3 or 4 years ago, they said that annually about 200,000 plus people are trafficked in the United States, okay? In the United States. And, you know, it's not just women being trafficked, but men are trafficked also. We already know about kids and stuff, but men are trafficked also. And they don't really talk about that. They don't really bring much attention to that. But it's a huge problem. Okay, Truth Brown says, Jean-Claude Van Damme, damn, trafficking is big business. I'm not surprised at all. Yeah, it absolutely is. Fat Boo says Diddy got that third put down on everybody. Nobody is safe from anything. Jamal said, so whoring is what? Jamal, that's if someone is making you do it, okay? Not if you're just out there walking the strip yourself and you're out there soliciting. Or you know what I'm saying? If you're out there, you know, putting in work, but if somebody's forcing you to do it, yes, that's exactly what it is. Because some of these men, I mean, actually pimping is trafficking these days, right? Because you're putting people out there, in some cases, making them to do it, whether they want to or not, and then you're getting proceeds. So yes. Okay, Auntie Leah said forced labor is also a form of trafficking. Yes. And remember, I did the story about that about 4 years ago too. Yes. And that's mostly what is done to the men. Most of the men are actually forced to perform labor for free in very hazardous conditions. Like I told you all before, they'll get like men that are down on their luck, like maybe they're homeless or they're just going through a tough time. And then they'll tell them that, you know, I'm going to give you a job. You're going to be making all this money or whatever. And then they often take them out of the state and have them working at these factories and whatnot, where it's really hazardous conditions, very dangerous. They don't give them any type of safety gear, have them working 12 to 16 hours a day. Okay. And then once they get there, they don't allow them to leave. It's like prison. And if you try to escape and get caught, there's consequences. Okay, this is all crazy. This is like slavery. It's still here. And just think about it, because here's the thing. Like my friend Sophia Stewart says, trafficking and slavery are the same thing. Okay, they absolutely are. People being snatched up, taken advantage of, made to work for free. Okay, treated unfairly and inhumanely. People being used as objects for sexual pleasure. Okay, being raped and abused. That's all the same things that they did in slavery. So she's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Now let's talk about Luigi Maggiani, because do you all know this woman that Trump has hired, Pam Bondi? She wants to give this man the death penalty. Okay, and I am absolutely not here for it. I know he is accused of killing that man, but here's the problem. She's talking about this man. She wants to give this man the death penalty. Lady, This man has not even been found guilty. Can we have him going to trial first, please? I don't like this woman. Let me tell you, something about her doesn't sit right with my spirit. Her coming after little Miss Crockett, okay, lying on the woman, saying she's calling for violence. Now, whether you like Jasmine Crockett or not, okay, and what's funny is I don't know how some of y'all have a problem with Jasmine Crockett, but some of y'all voted for Trump. Please make yourselves make sense. And then you want to say she's not doing anything for Black people. What the hell's Trump doing for Black people? I'm sorry, but let me continue, honey. Okay, so anyway, Luigi Maggioni, blow by blow for potential lethal injection, is feds seek death penalty. Now, if you ask me, this woman by the name of Pam Bondi, she is trying to just make a big name for herself, okay? That's why she wants to go in on Luigi, and that's why she's going after Jasmine Crockett, in my opinion. I don't like her. She doesn't sit right with my spirit, okay? She's a whole Karen. And then when you get a good close-up look at her, she's ugly as stale oatmeal. Now, that's just my opinion, okay? She's got, hold on, let me just pull her picture up right here. Okay, I thought she was a little attractive at first, but then I got a good look. Now, this lady's wearing a whole bunch of makeup, I guess, in some instances, because right here you can see all the crow's feet, okay, that she has on that face of hers. Okay, Truth Brown said Pam Bondi is definitely drunk with power. I absolutely agree. Okay, I absolutely agree. Okay, Skeletor fan says, oh yeah, did reveal that doctor's name at the hospital. That was Ray Ray to your friend. Yeah, his name is Dr. Ramesh Reddy. Okay, so now, anyway, so let's talk about it, because as I said, this nefarious woman wants to give Luigi Maggioni the death penalty. Okay, so here's what they're saying. President Trump's no-nonsense attorney general. Ha! Please. Okay, that's how she wants to paint herself. It's no nonsense, tough as nails. Okay, the top cop. She wants to be like Kamala. I want y'all to pay attention. Is that what she's trying to do? Yeah. Anyway, President Trump's no-nonsense attorney general, Pam Bondi, has made it clear that she wants Luigi Maggioni executed for allegedly committing murder. And if she gets her way, the 26-year-old Ivy League graduate faces a torturous fate. Now, TMZ interviewed University of Richmond law professor Corinne Lane, who provided us a roadmap of what Luigi can potentially expect if he is federally convicted of stalking and murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. So the prosecutor presents aggravating factors to the court after a conviction, and the jury must unanimously agree on those factors before the judge decides whether to impose the death penalty. In federal cases, the death penalty typically results in lethal injection. Lane, an expert in capital punishment who wrote a book called Secrets of the Killing State, The Untold Story of Lethal Injection, tells TMZ that Luigi would first be strapped to a gurney in a death chamber, and an executioner will find a vein and insert a catheter. She says some inmates are pricked multiple times as the executor searches for a vein, mainly because they're ailing drug users with bad veins. But Luigi is young and spry, and this doesn't seem to pose an issue. Let me tell you right here, she's lying. She's lying, y'all. I want you all to pay attention. They're saying that she's a death penalty expert, a lethal injection expert. Is that what they said? Hold on, let me scroll back. Yeah, she's an expert in capital punishment. Well, guess what? If she's an expert in capital punishment, then that means I am too. Okay, because I know all about all of the methods of the death penalty. And I'm here to tell you that I used to think, and many people still think, that lethal injection is the most humane way, but it absolutely isn't. Okay, it's awful as well. It's inhumane as well. Okay, now here's what she says. She's lying right here when she says this. I want you all to pay attention, because she says that usually they have to get pricked multiple times, and she claims it's because most of them are ailing drug users with bad veins. That's a damn lie. I'm going to tell you why they have to get pricked many times. Okay, Big Chief All-American said ugly as stale oatmeal is nasty word. Okay, thank you, beloved. But here's the thing. I'm going to tell you why that's not true. The reason they have to get pricked most times is not because most of them are drug users, ailing drug users with poor veins. First of all, how are they getting drugs on death row? Okay, I know they can get drugs in through the prison system, but death row, it's just a bit more complicated. Okay, so I've been told. But the bottom line is the reason they have to get pricked multiple times is because these things are being carried out by people that are not in the medical field. How many of you knew that? Ones in the chat. The ones that are injecting them with this cocktail of substances to take them up out of here into the spiritual realm, okay, they're not trained medical staff. And the reason why is because doctors take the Hippocratic oath that they will do no harm. Doctors are supposed to save lives, not take it. So it goes against their moral code of ethics. Okay, so they're not going to get doctors and people who really are medical staff to come in there and give them this. Okay, Nene said drug users is code for black. Well, that's probably true too, because most of the people on death row are usually black and poor people. That's one reason why I don't agree with the death penalty, because it usually is, they usually target poor people and specifically black people. Okay, people that can't afford good attorneys. All right, that's how that goes. Even in places where there's a high percentage of Caucasian people, you'll find that on death row they have mostly 80% or more of the people are black. All right, and that's just the facts. Okay, you can look it up yourself. But so anyway, you know, I really hope that they don't give this man, you know, maybe they should put him in a mental health facility or something. I don't know. Okay, Skeletor fan says, do they have lethal injection in 101 class in med school? I don't know. I've never gone to med school. That's a good question. I doubt it, though. I absolutely doubt it, because why would they? They're not going to be giving it to people. What they do in med school is they're going to teach you how to stick people very well, or some of them. Some of them don't pay attention clearly, because I've had cases where I've had to be stuck 3 or 4 times, and then they make excuses. Oh, you have little veins or your heart stick. But then there's somebody else who can stick me right the first time. That just means that you're a slacker who didn't pay attention in class, well, on the day when they were showing how to stick people. Okay, that's what that is, if you ask me. Okay, so with that all being said, let's continue, because I'm not falling for this BS. She's talking about alien drug users with bad veins. Yeah, that's not it. Okay, so once the catheter is inserted in the vein, Lane says non-medical prison guards carry out the execution with syringes from another room called the exoration anteroom. This room is next to the execution room, and the 2 spaces are connected by a tube running through a hole in the separating wall. The tube is used to carry drugs from one room to the next. On one end of the tube are syringes with the lethal drugs, and the tube runs into the catheter needle into the prisoner's arm. Guards rush down on the syringes, which deliver pentobarbital, a euthanasia drug to the prisoner's body. The drug immediately floods the heart and then the lungs. After a couple of minutes, the prisoner falls unconscious, and it could take up to 18 minutes before they die. Even if the prisoner is unconscious and drugged to oblivion, Lane tells us the prisoner could still be feeling pain, but can't respond to it. And that's because they use paralytics. You see, that's because they use paralytics. When they give them this cocktail of drugs, they are still alive for a time, lying there. Just imagine this now, okay? Lying there, organs shutting down, all right? You're feeling excruciating pain. You can't say a word. You can't move, okay? This is what they do. So then she goes on to say that after a couple of minutes, the prisoner falls unconscious, and it could take up to 18 minutes before they die. So it's not quick. This is torturous. Now, even if the prisoner is unconscious and drugged to oblivion, Lane tells us the prisoner could still be feeling pain but can't respond. She says scientific evidence overwhelmingly indicates it's very likely that the drugs cause extreme pain and needless suffering, in words, torturing people to death. Okay, and that's exactly what happens. And let me just tell you all something. There has been a myriad of cases. There has, in fact, been a myriad of cases or instances where people just, had just drastic things happen to them. Like there was a case that I read about when I was in college. There was a man who they were injecting him repeatedly, and they just couldn't get it in the vein. And they even were sticking him in the groin and all of this stuff. Okay, there's been several times that I've read about, different cases where I've read about where there's been stuff that's happened. Things have gone awry while the person's on the gurney. Okay, what happened to the Hippocratic Oath on the C-19 shot? A good question, beloved. Okay, good question. But you know, they weren't going to tell the truth about it. So there's that. Okay, they're not going to tell the truth about that one. But thank you for your insight to the topic, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. So anyway, let me just share some pictures. Let me share these pictures of Luigi. Here we go. This is a handsome young man, full of life, very smart. You know, I think, of course, he committed a crime. Of course, he committed a nefarious crime. But like I said, I don't think this man deserved the death penalty. And when they talk about aggravating factors, what aggravating factors were involved in the crime he committed? I mean, I would just like to know. How many of you, ones in the chat, if you think he deserves the death penalty? Ones in the chat, if you agree that he deserves the death penalty. Ones in the chat, if you think that he deserves the death penalty. Raman Allah says has a 1. I see a couple of people said no. Okay, so we'll see how this all turns out. I'm praying for him that it isn't. Now, so listen. Hold on. I was going to pull up my capstone review. Do I still have that? Do I still have that? Hold on. Hold on, beloveds. I'm trying to see if I still have my capstone review about the death penalty. This is a paper I did in college. I had to do it before I graduated. Okay, I'm going to read you all some of this. I'm going to read you all some of this because, for one, this was my argument. Okay, I'm going to read you all some of this. Now, this is, Leon said, using him as an example. Yes, absolutely. I think that's what Pam Bondi is, and also to get a name for herself. Okay, Skeletar fan said he should get 30 days probation. Hold on, this chat's moving a little quick. Hold on. Okay, says he should get 30 days probation and 100 hours community service if he promised not to do it again. Not if he Skeletar fan, not if he promised not to do it again. So he's supposed to be on punishment. Skeletar fan, that was cute. 30 days probation, 100 hours community service if he promised not to do it again. So the judge is supposed to take his word, beloved. Okay, that was cute. I am so done. Frank Nitty said that she invests in private prisons. Pam Bondi, she does. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so anyway, like I said, I'm going to read you all some of this paper that I wrote when I was in college about the death penalty, just to give you an idea of how it all goes down, okay? So here we go. The results of studies conducted, hold on. Let me just put this up on the screen, honey. Let me put this on the screen for a minute. I'm not going to keep it up here, but I'm going to put it up here for a second. Just so you all can see. Y'all see that? Okay, like I said, I wrote that when I was in college. So y'all won't sit up here and think I'm reading something off of Google. Okay. The classic one said pinky promise. Cookie said pinky swear. Okay, talking about as long as he promises. Skeletar fan, I needed that laugh, honey. You are gold this morning, okay? I went to get a sip of my tea and oops, it's all going. I'm sitting here struggling. Okay, I got a struggle cup of tea. Okay, so anyway, let's just get into it because I'm going to be out of here in a minute, y'all. I have other stuff to do. Okay. The results of studies conducted on racial disparity in the application of the death penalty have been reviewed for 2 decades. Now, the documentation exposes the abundance of racism in the death penalty. The finding further demonstrates that the problem has not decreased over time. This is a problem that occurs throughout the country. The parties that make critical decisions pertaining to the death penalty often make crucial mistakes. There are rules and guidelines that must be followed when conducting a criminal investigation. The laws that govern crime scene investigations are found in the Constitution, case law, and statutory law. The United States Constitution is the supreme law of the land. This living document contains important provisions that may directly affect how a crime scene is investigated. And case law is important because it serves as a guide of courts and dictates policies and procedures that are to be followed by all law enforcement personnel. Likes up, everyone, please. Don't forget to like and share. Case law determines if a crime scene investigation. Okay, I'm going to skip past all this. I don't know why I have all this in here. I don't remember. Okay, let's get to the death penalty part. So according to the Philadelphia Inquirer, the death penalty presents a wide variety of the effects of racial discrimination. A study conducted. See, I want you all to pay attention, honey, because the queen always been pro-black. Okay, do y'all hear this? Now, this is a paper I wrote in college. Y'all see how I've always been advocating for y'all nefarious selves? But some of y'all be low-key hating on the queen, okay? I'm not going to say anybody in the chats, but some of y'all folk on ScrewTube, okay, who will come on here and leave me little nasty comments because you disagree with things I say. But anyway, I digress. All right, so anyway, as a study conducted by the New York Times revealed that the victim's race affects death penalty decisions. Okay, the studies in recent years have proven that defendants who murder white victims are most likely to receive a death sentence. Whites are very seldom executed for murdering blacks, however. This system of bias is unfair and unconstitutional. Now, Amnesty International, a non-governmental organization that commits to conducting research and generating action to prevent and end abuses of human rights, reports that blacks and whites are murder victims in nearly equal numbers of crimes. Okay, and I want you all to pay attention because they love to talk about black on black crime. Okay, that's what they love to say. All right, Amnesty International further reports that 80% of people executed since the death penalty was reinstated have been executed for murders involving white victims. So that's why she wants to give him the death penalty. Okay, if the man had murdered a black CEO, would she be advocating for him to get the death penalty? I highly doubt it. Okay, please pay attention. The facts are the facts. Okay, so according to a new report issued by Amnesty International, race continues to play a strong role in United States death penalty cases. More than 20% of black defendants who have been executed were convicted by all white juries. Okay, according to the findings of a governor-commissioned death penalty study conducted by researchers at the University of Maryland, the state's death penalty system is tainted with racial bias, and geography plays a significant role in who faces capital punishment. Now, the study, one of the nation's most comprehensive official reviews on race and death penalty, concluded that defendants are much more likely to be sentenced to death if they have killed a white person. So there's numerous of studies. If you pay attention, I'm telling you all these different studies that show this, because I got a bunch of data before I wrote this. I did very thorough research. Okay, the Indiana Criminal Law Study Commission met recently to review the final draft of a year-long study on the state's death penalty. Now, mind you, this is when I was in college. So what do you think is really going on now? What do you think is going on now? Okay, what do you think is going on now? So let's keep talking. Now, with that all being said, the report included a cost analysis that indicates that it costs the state 35 to 37% more to have the death penalty than it would if life without parole were the most severe punishment available. Former Indiana Governor Frank O'Bannon asked the commission to review the state's death penalty system after innocent inmates were discovered and freed from death rows in their states. So that's another reason why I don't agree with the death penalty, because there has actually been people exonerated from death row that didn't even do anything. And thankfully, DNA proved that they were innocent. So if that's the case, how many people do you think actually were killed before they were able to be exonerated? Okay. A report released by the New Jersey Supreme Court found that the state's death penalty law is more likely to proceed against defendants who kill white victims as well. There is unsettling statistical evidence indicating that these cases involving killers of white victims are more likely to progress to a death penalty phase than cases involving killers of African-American victims, according to the report. Appellate Division Judge David S. Boehm conducted the study with the Death Penalty Information Center in 2008. Boehm concluded that the findings at the findings that more capital cases considered in white suburban neighborhoods should be examined by the Attorney General's office. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there because I think you get the gist of it. Okay, it's racially biased. And here's the thing: most of the states that have death penalty as a form of punishment, well, they don't have a lower rate of murders. Okay, so what does that mean? That basically means that the death penalty is not a deterrent from murder. You know why it isn't? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because most people who commit murder don't ever think that they're going to get caught. Okay, they don't think that they're going to get caught at the end of the day. All right. And in fact, most people who commit crimes in general don't think they're going to get caught, but murderers, they definitely don't have any plans of being caught. All right. And so with that all being said, anywho, so now hold on. I'm not sure what you mean by this question, beloved. La Mimi or La Mammy or Mommy says, what about maritime law? What about it, beloved? I'm not sure what you're asking. It's the law of the sea. Okay. This is the law of the sea, seafaring, living, what are you talking about? I'm not sure what you're talking about. We're talking about the death penalty. What does that have to do with maritime law? I have several questions. Are you asking if maritime law has crimes that are punishable by death? Because the answer to that would be yes. Okay, certain maritime offenses absolutely can have the death penalty, and it's usually murder. Okay, it's usually murder, just like on the land. All right, so I hope that answered your question, beloved. Thank you for your question and your insight, and also your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Now let's finish this article about Luigi. So she goes on to say, hold on, where was I? Okay, now here's what she says. Lane says lethal injection sometimes causes acute pulmonary edema, which occurs when fluid seeps into the lungs within seconds and minutes, making it hard to breathe. This is life-threatening. Now, I just want you to think about this. Just imagine, okay? Has anybody in here ever had pneumonia? And the reason I ask is because pneumonia is one of those ailments where you can have fluid in your lungs. And if you've ever had fluid in your lungs, it is very difficult to breathe. In fact, it feels as if you're drowning or you're being suffocated, like someone's literally covering your mouth and nose so that you can't breathe. It is a very scary feeling. Okay, if you have asthma, you may have experienced it. Okay. Skeletor fan said that you have. Okay, so then you know how that feels. So they're basically saying that during this procedure, you could have fluid in your lungs. Now imagine lying down flat on a gurney, injected with this cocktail of drugs that make you feel like your heart is just going to burst out of your chest. You feel excruciating pain, and now it's difficult to breathe, and you're still alive while all this is going on, but it's like you're trapped inside your own body because you can't scream, you can't ask for help, you can't move or anything, and then your lungs are filling with fluid. So it's like you're being suffocated. This is absolutely horrific. Okay, you think this is humane? It's absolutely not. Do you want to see this happen to Luigi Maggiani? I absolutely don't. Okay, so anyway, another issue is the non-medical prison guards carrying out the execution. Now, Lane says that the guards are not medically trained, and when they administer the drugs by pushing down on the syringe, they can sometimes push too hard, delivering too much of the substance too fast, thus blowing the vein and causing it to collapse. This happens a lot. I'll guarantee you this happens a lot because there are trained medical professionals who do the same thing. Okay, how many times have I been stuck, okay, at a doctor's office or hospital when they're trying to draw blood and my vein has blown because the person didn't know what the hell they're doing. Okay, so imagine a trained person doing that. So you already know that a person who isn't trained would absolutely do that. These people don't know what they're doing. All right, they should stop this practice. It's just ghastly, in my opinion. So she says, if this happens, she says the drug spills into the surrounding tissue, creating a big problem. Now, in one case, Lane says the prisoner woke up in the midst of his execution in pain. I remember that story. The man woke up on the gurney. Okay, absolutely horrific. His eyes were open. He couldn't move or say anything, but you could see the tears okay, welled up in his eyes. It was just absolutely horrific when I read that story. Okay, and in another, she says the prisoner had huge chemical burns on both his arms with the skin, oh my God, coming off. This is absolutely horrific. Okay, are you all hearing this? This is, oh my goodness, just the thought of it. The skin was literally sloughing off, is what she says, which means that it was shedding, okay, like a snake skin, it's just falling off. Due to the chemicals. That's right. Byron said medical genocide. Exactly. And then they say this can't help Luigi sleep at night. No, it definitely can't. So anyway, you know, like I said, I don't want this poor man to get the lethal injection. I mean, of course he needs to be punished. That's to be expected. But like this, I should hope not. Okay. So Obed Israel says, you don't understand common law. You only talk about maritime law, which is not the right jurisdiction for sovereign citizens who Black people are. Okay, I'm sorry, Obed Israel. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about the Queen? Hold on. Obed says, you're only explaining maritime law. You are deceiving the people. You are licensed by Jesse with the priest. Okay, are you a troll? Because you sound real strange. Okay, what you're saying is not even making sense. And second of all, yes, I'm talking to you, Queen. No, you're not talking to me, beloved, because what are you talking about? I'm only explaining maritime law. I'm not only explaining maritime law. I'm talking about criminal law. Okay, when I was reading about the death penalty and reading this article, that's regular criminal law. Someone asked me about maritime law. The only thing I said, it is the law of the sea. So what are you talking about? I'm confused. Do you even know what you're talking about, sir or ma'am? Him, her, they, us, we, or they. I don't know your pronouns, or even if you have any. I'm just saying. So anyway, with that all being said, I'm not sure where you're going with that. You said I'm only talking about maritime law and I'm deceiving people. How am I deceiving people? Would you like for me to drop the link so you can explain? Because I'm confused. Do you want me to drop the link? We can debate it. We can debate it, but we can debate it live if you want. No, we're not going to debate because I don't have time. What I want you to do is come up here and tell me what you're talking about. So I'm going to drop the link. And I hope you're not long-winded because I got about 5 minutes because I have something to do. There's the link. I just dropped the link. All you got to do is click it. Then I can add you to the screen. You don't have to show your face or you can. Doesn't matter to me. I'm going to drop it again. Okay, there's the link. Lena said he's a troll. We'll see in a minute. I've dropped the link twice. You said you're trying to help me. You're not trying to help me by saying that I'm deceiving people when I haven't deceived anybody and I have not told one lie. I want to hear what you have to say. Okay, I'm going to give you about 30 more seconds to click the link. Dorana said now they need instructions on how to click the link. I mean, you just click it. Just click it. That's all you got to do is click it. And you should be in the studio and I can add you to the screen. Says, I don't know how to get in it. Plus, don't know how to get it. So, okay, well, for somebody who says that I don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know how you don't know how to click a link, beloved. I mean, you just literally click on it. It's no really instructions needed. I put the link in the chat and you see the link and you just click it. Okay, I don't have time for you to switch phones, beloved. I mean, just make it quick. I got about 30 seconds, like I said. Sheila said, only take one finger to click the link. Okay. Dorana said, sit down somewhere, Obed. Okay, so at this point, I've got to go. Cookie says, says Smarty Pants can't work the sale. Del Monte Green Bean says, I want to jump into mess with you. Byron B said, I had a good laugh for the day. Oh, hell no, I said, I'm confused. Frenchie said, why do you need another phone? This is all nefarious. Listen, I'm out of here, okay? Fabu said, Queen, don't waste your time. You're right, I'm not. I got to go. Thank you, Del Monte, for your contribution to the channel. I want to jump in to mess with you, Queen. Okay, I'll get you up here next time, beloved. Okay, so anyway, listen. Oh, here he is. He's here. I'm going to go ahead and add him to the
Yeah.
Okay, now he's up here next time, beloved. Okay, listen. Oh, he's here. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off.
Yeah.
Okay, now he's up here next time, beloved. Okay, turn that off so it's no feedback, so we can hear you. Beloved. Turn it off so it's no feedback, so we can hear you.
Turn what off? The mic?
No, the device that you're playing me on, you need to turn audio off on that. So we can hear that.
Turn what off? The mic?
Because it's giving feedback. No, you're playing me on, you need to turn audio off on that.
Oh, okay. Turn mic?
It's giving feedback. Juju, you are a mess. Juju said, not laying. Hold on. I got to put this up here. Where did he go? Oh, man, come back. We want to hear what you got to say. You had us waiting all this time. Juju said, not laid up in a trailer. Durana said, oh, man, looking high as gas. Oh, this is crazy. Lock Vegan said, how can he be a smart ass and a dumb ass at the same time? Oh my God, this is hilarious. Truth Brown said, hurry up and close that camera below. Oh my God, the Inkwell said, you called this bluff. Oh my God, I am so done. I am absolutely done. Frenchie said, that's all right. He got a roof over his head. Oh my goodness, I am done. Oh my God, this is the most nefarious chat I have ever seen. Okay, I'm out of here. Byron B said he's looking through. Byron B said he's looking through an aquarium. Oh my God, I am done. I am done. This is all so. True Brown said, what he thought, we don't know. He don't know about this chat. Truth Brown said, what he thought, he don't know about this chat. Okay. Oh my God, y'all are done. Okay, I cannot with y'all. Okay, so anyway, the entire chat is on punishment. The songwriter Sonny said he was using a black and white phone. I'm out of here. Nancy X said, stop, Queen. Queen, stop, you're killing me. Oh my goodness, I cannot breathe. Frank Nitty said, room looking like a Mortal Kombat level. Frenchie said, I wanted to hear what he had to say. I did too. That's why I waited. Del Monte Green Bean said, you should have left when you had a chance. I was just going to get your nerves on purpose. Get on your nerves on purpose. I am so through. Del Monte Green Beans, you know I love you, beloved. Thank you for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, listen. I love. Hold on. Truth Brown said, with them thick ass glasses. Oh my goodness, I am done. 100 Black Rock says, Queen, send your PO to my email specifically. I got some for you. Okay, thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. All right, and thank you for your contribution to the channel. Del Monte Green Beans, thank you for your contribution to the channel too, beloved, and the laughs. Okay, you all are something else. All right, so listen, I'm out of here. Lorraine said he was probably masturbating with an M. Cookie called him the Pillsbury Doughboy. This is just wrong at this point. You all, please stop. Okay. Songwriter Sonny said, get out that laundry pile. Oh my goodness, I am so through. Okay. I got to go. Okay, I got to go. Listen, I love you all to life. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of this day. Enjoy your strong end, not the weekend, leaving you in a weekend state of mind. Oh my God. Hold on. Oh my goodness, I literally can't breathe. Oh hell no, said, Lord have mercy upon my soul. Oh my goodness. Juju said, okay, laying on his dirty clothes. Del Monte said that shit was funny. Durana said, Queen, you didn't have to roast him. We all did it for you. Oh my God, I'm choking. I've got to get out of here. Oh my God, y'all are crazy as hell. Oh my goodness. That crazy bitch X told Nessie X, she secretly wants him to call back. Okay, I gotta go. Oh my God. True Brown said, Savior of West Queen, we got this one for you. Boo said, I'm literally crying. I am too. Oh my God, this is crazy. Oh my God, I'm clearly losing my voice. I got to get out of here. Okay, listen, y'all are nuts. Okay, literally. Oh my God, that was funny as hell. Oh my goodness. Oh. Listen, he's mad now. He said, you still fake aloud and you leaving these ignorant people down the wrong road. He called y'all ignorant, but he said leaving instead of leading. Now he's trying to clown us. Frank Diddy said, room looking like Outworld. Oh my goodness, this is all crazy. I gotta go. Okay, listen, I love y'all to life. Okay, y'all enjoy the rest of this day and enjoy your Fat Boo said he's leading the blind with blinders on. Oh my God. Oh my God, I can't breathe. Hold on. Derby said cloud and gone wrong. Oh my God. That crazy bitch Eric said, remember Jailbird Queen that flipped you off? Yes. Oh my God, that was hilarious. Oh my God. Truth Brown said the roaches told him. Truth Brown said the roaches told him to fight back. Oh, hell no. Said, sir, your mama said clean your dungeon expeditiously. Okay, I've got to go. I've got to go. Chris B said he is the definition of F around and find out. Oh, no, Monty Green Bean said you gonna bust out laughing at the red light. Del Monte, thanks for your donation to the channel. Okay, I can't even talk at this point. Byron B said, damn, the whole queendom is taking up arms. Oh my goodness, Fat Boo said got roasted. He gonna cry in the car. King Kyle said he misrepresented the roaches. They gonna beat his ass. You can't undo that, pimp. Oh my God. Nene said the chat remains undefeated. Doreen said he should be on an episode of Hoarders with all that junk in the background. Oh my goodness, look at this. Doranda said, old bed lying on an old bed. Woo-hoo, this is hilarious. Okay. Del Monte Green B said, black folks, we ain't right. Oh my God, I have got to go at this point. Okay, listen, I'm just going to start the music. I can't even talk at this point. I love y'all to life. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm going to talk to you all again soon. Keep the Most High first in your life. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got